have some new products I want to try out, so let's do this look. First new product I'm going to try out is the Anastasia Brow Freeze Gel. I tried the original Brow Freeze and for some reason it didn't work too good on my eyebrows. My eyebrows are really hard to keep in place, so I'm hoping this one is going to be better. I really like the brush. There's one side with shorter, thinner bristles and the other side has longer, bigger ones. So you can really be very precise with how you want your brows to set. So far it's really promising because the original brow gel, even when I just first put it on, it wouldn't keep my brow hairs in place, but right now they are laying down. For foundation, I'm using House Labs, the shade 260 Light Medium Cool. I'm so confused sometimes because when I first put foundations on, they look too dark or too yellow. But when I check against my neck, it looks fine. My face is just so much lighter than my neck. And I have some redness in my face, so foundations can look a bit harsh at first. You just have to trust the process. For bronzer, I'm using the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Always Sunny. I have the shade Good Energy also, but I just keep coming back to this one because the undertone is so perfect. Just blending that out with a brush. I find blending the bronzer out with a foundation brush to be so much quicker. Really seamless. I really think a big key when it comes to blending out foundation, blushes, or bronzer is to not drag it on your face. You want to lift and tap it and move the brush around so that it's more of a diffused look. If you drag it, you're going to end up with streaks. I do place my bronzer as contour, and controversial opinion, I don't use a gray or cool undertone because I just don't find that it looks good on me in person. It might look good in pictures, but the gray undertone on me, when you're looking at me in real life, it looks really gray. I just stick to something warm to add dimension and depth back to the face, and it works. For my nose, I'm just going to take my Patrick Ta nose contour brush, and I'm just going to lightly add some up into the brow bone and along the side of the nose. Nothing too harsh, so I'm just using the fluffy side of the brush to add that in. For blush, I'm using the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Rose Crush. I just got this recently and I'm really liking the formula, and the color payoff is really nice. It's not too harsh, so you can like build it up to exactly what you want super easily. I do take my blush right into my under eye area because I'm gonna go over top of that with concealer, and I feel like putting it up here just helps make it more seamless. Might look like I'm burnt, but just trust the process. For concealer, using Hourglass in the shade Sepia. I don't like to put it all the way up to my under eye because I'll blend it upwards. Find that if I put it all the way up, it's really hard to control and get it to blend down. Just do it right in this area here, a bit down my nose, forehead, chin. Gonna let the under eye sit a bit and just blend out the other areas with my beauty blender. I do the nose with my finger just to keep it more precise. If you have like a tiny little brush, that'll work too. Now the under eye. Even with the beauty blender, you just want to bounce the sponge in the same general area until it's blended out. You go back and forth, up and down a little bit. It's gonna do the work for you. Now we're moving on to powder, and I did pick up the new Huda Beauty powder in the shade Peach Pie. I'm super curious about this, so let's give it a try. Just putting some of it on a powder puff and tapping it out on my hand to make sure that there's not too much on here, and going straight in and pushing that in. I like to take it down the side of the nose to help add some definition there. That color is really nice. I do also really like the pink one, but I think depending on the blush you're wearing and depending on your undertone, both of these are really good to have. I literally have this in almost every single color because I carry it in my makeup kit. I love this powder so much. I'm gonna set the rest of my face with my Charlotte Tilbury powder in the shade 2. Using my powder puff to set my face because I've been trying that out lately instead of a brush, and my makeup is staying put like crazy. For bronzer, I'm using Patrick Ta She's Sculpted, the powder side. And I'm just going wherever I initially put that Rare Beauty cream bronzer. Blush is Pat McGrath Divine Rose 3. In my crease, I'm going to use this Fenty bronzer in the shade Island Ting. This is so busted and beat up, but I freaking love this. This one is the perfect shade for adding definition into my crease. It's a little bit warm. It's not too orangey. not super yellow. I just love this one. I also find this shade perfect for connecting right back into that nose contour that came into the brow. Just so seamless. Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. I'm taking this darker shade here, just on the same brush I was using for the bronzer, and keeping this on the outer corner of the eye. Just really going in circular motions to get a nice blend. With the same brush, grabbing some of the darker shade here and blending into the outer corner again, but keeping that even smaller. This is how you build the definition. This is how I like to do it, at least. You start with the lighter shade, then a medium shade in a smaller area, then the darkest shade in an even smaller area. Taking this bone shade here on like a flat-ish brush. I have no idea what brush this is, I'm sorry. It's completely rubbed off. And I'm just placing that on the inner part of the lid where I didn't place any of those darker shadows. I'm gonna keep the eyes matte today, so I'm going in with eyeliner now. This one is the Rare Beauty Felt Tip eyeliner. I really like this one, super easy to use. Because I have hooded eyes, I like to start on the outer corner. Just draw in towards the center, and then do a tiny little straight wing. The fold in my crease really limits how much space I have for a wing, so I find doing it straight out usually works best. Tight line with a gel liner. This one's Rare Beauty. Allure Royal Luxe Silk, pretty much the only lashes I wear recently. Morphe Sweet Tea lip liner. Makeup by Mario Pink Glow. Done.